What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so I recall these ceremonies being a little bit later. It's usually sometime in early August, like the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or something like that. But close enough. For some reason this year it's a little bit earlier. But Fred Mcgriff and Scott Rolen are officially Hall of Famers. I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. Fred Mcgriff and Scott Rolen were inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame on Sunday during a ceremony on the grounds of the Clark Sports Center in Cooperstown, New York, when two players who often shunned the limelight were tasked with speaking to a throng of fans in attendance as well as a national television audience on the MLB network. Both responded with eloquent speeches. "This is baseball's biggest honor," Mcgriff said. "This is like icing on the cake. You see, my goal was simply to make it to the big leagues." Now Mcgriff has made the biggest league of all after his long wait for enshrinement finally ended on Sunday. Passed over during his 10-year stay on the ballot, the BBWA ballot, Mcgriff was unanimously voted in at the winter meetings in December by one of the Hall's era-based veterans committees. Mcgriff, the crime dog, finished with 493 home runs, likely missing the ballyhooed 500 Dinger Club because of the 94-95 work stoppage that cost him parts of 2 seasons when he was producing the best numbers of his career. And they talk about how he was a member of the 1995 World Series champion Atlanta Braves. While Rolen didn't have to wait as long as Mcgriff, he was voted by the BBWA in his 6th year of eligibility. His starting point was historically low. In 2018, the first time Rolen's name appeared on the ballot, he received just 10.2% of the vote, the lowest initial percentage for a player who eventually was inducted. His rise from a ballot afterthought to a Hall of Famer was as startling as it was unlikely. And it says he's the 12th Hall of Famer to feature a St. Louis Cardinals logo on his Hall plaque. Rolen was traded to the Cardinals from the Phillies in 2002 trade deadline. He went on to play in 4 All-Star games and win 3 Gold Gloves during his time in St. Louis for his highlight reel work at third base. He was a member of 2 pennant-chasing Cardinal teams, 2004 and 2006, and won a ring in 2006. Now, I'm not trying to knock Scott Rolen, but to be honest with you, just me, and you could obviously have a different opinion than me, but I just never thought of Scott Rolen as a Hall of Famer. I thought he was a very, very, very good player, but not Hall of Famer. Trying to look at some of his numbers, and I know numbers isn't everything. I know that. I know numbers don't reflect everything, but I just didn't see a Hall of Famer in this guy. 7-time All-Star, World Series champion. He was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1997. Now, the 8-time Gold Gloves help a lot. Silver Slugger Award in 2002. He's in the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame. He was voted in with just over that 75% threshold, 76.3%. He had a career 281 batting average, 2,077 hits, 1,287 career RBI, 316 home runs. I just have a hard time seeing how Scott Rolen's in the Hall of Fame, but more than likely, a guy like Manny Ramirez is never getting in. I have a hard time seeing how Scott Rolen is in, right? But Dave Parker's not. Let's look at Dave Parker. Someone has explained this to me. Dave Parker, 7-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, NL MVP, 3-time Gold Glove Award, 3-time Silver Slugger Award, 2-time NL batting champion, National League RBI leader. He's in the Pirates Hall of Fame and the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame. He had a .290 career batting average, had 2,712 hits, 339 home runs, and 1,493 RBI. And he did this in the 70s and 80s when offenses were not as explosive as when Scott Rolen played. So I ask you, sir, how is Scott Rolen in the Hall of Fame, but Dave Parker is not? Is it because of the drug problems? Because there's a lot of drug addicts and drunks and wife beaters and racists in baseball's Hall of Fame. That's no excuse. Yeah, I don't know. I just have a problem with that. Fred McGriff, I thought he was marginal, but I didn't have a real problem with him being in the Hall of Fame. It's like I don't have a problem with him being there, but I didn't see him as first ballot, so therefore him being in the Veterans Committee, I don't have a real problem with that. 284 batting average, 2,490 hits, 493 home runs, 1,550 RBI, 5-time All-Star, World Series champion, 3-time Silver Slugger Award, 2-time home run leader, 1989, 1992. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with him going in, but he wasn't a first ballot guy. I just never thought of Scott Rolen as like one of the best 10 to 15 players in baseball at any given time, or best 10 players, I should say, in baseball. I don't know. Dave Parker was once the best overall player in baseball for a few years. So, I have a problem with these guys being in the Hall of Fame and Dave Parker isn't. That really stinks. And by the way, I still believe Barry Bonds should be a Hall of Famer. Excuse me. I still believe Roger Clemens should be a Hall of Famer. And I still believe, even though he's no longer here and wouldn't be here to enjoy the honor, I still believe Dick Allen should be in the Hall of Fame. But his only hope is for the Veterans Committee to vote him in. And he missed it by one vote last time. One goddamn vote. But anyway, not to mean to crap on their parades, man. Much respect to Scott Rolen. Much respect to Fred McGriff. I'm not going to protest to the ends of the earth that they're in. Great honor that they're in. But I still think Cooperstown. It's on Cooperstown. It's not really them. It's on Cooperstown. I think they're just losing a lot of respectability, in my opinion.